This is the Snow White Tale.
Once upon a time, a king and queen had a baby daughter, and when she saw her black hair, snowy white skin, and red lips, she decided to kill her Snow White. Snow White grew up to be a pretty child, but sadly, after a few years, her mother died and her father married again. The new king, Snow White's stepmother, was a beautiful woman too, but she was very young. More than anything else, she wanted to be certain that she was the most beautiful woman in the world. She had a magic mirror, and she used it to look at herself in the each glass and say,
Oh mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairies on the floor?
And the mirror will always reply,
Your old queen are the fairies, on fall.
The queen will smile with her teeth for the queen. The mirror never failed to speak the truth. The years passed. His years new with great Peter and Peter until one day his mother looked in the magic mirror and said,
Oh mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairies on the fall? You, queen, are the favorite snow. What is your fairy? Tell you now.
The queen was angry and jealous. In a terrible rage, she decided that the Snow White should be killed. She called for a hunter and told him to take Snow White for into the forest and to kill her there. In order to prove that Snow White was indeed dead, she commanded him to cut out Snow White's hair and bring it back to her. The hunter was very sad because he loved Snow White very much, but knew he must obey his orders. He took her deep into the forest and as he ripped his snake, but he couldn't kill her. He told her never to come back to the castle. Then he killed a young deer and cut out its hair and took it to the wind, pretending it was Snow White's hair.
For Snow White was tired, lonely and hungry in the forest. She wandered down the tree until she came to clearing and found a little house. She opened it and went inside. There she saw a round white, a long table like with 7 plates with food, and she ate a little from each one. Beyond the table were 7 live beads. She tied on some of them, and when she found one that was comfortable, she fell into a deep sleep, for she was exhausted by her long journey through the forest.
The cottage was the home of 7 dwarfs. All day long they worked in an earth, minting diamonds from deep inside the mountain. When they returned home the evening, they were amazed to see that some had been into their cottage and had taken some food and drink from each place at the table. They were also surprised to feel very disturbed until one dwarf called out that he had found a lovely girl asleep on his bed.
The next morning, Snow White awoke and met the dwarf, and she told them her history. When she explained how she now had no home, the dwarf immediately asked her whether she would like to stay with them. Back at the palace, the queen welcomed the hunter when he returned with the deer's heart. She was happy that now she was once more the most beautiful woman in the world. As soon as she was alone, she looked at her magic mirror and sighed confidently.
Oh mirror, mirror on the wall, which the fairies on the floor?
To hear Arrow, the mirror replied,
You queen on the fair, to trade both snow. What is the fair? Is than you.
The queen trembled with anger as she realized that the hunter had tricked her. She decided that she would now find Snow White and kill herself. The queen disguised herself as an old peasant woman with a basket of apples, and one of them was poisoned. When she knocked at the cottage door, the queen offered Snow White an apple as present. Snow White stretched out her hand of the apple and also took a bite. At once, Snow White was affected by the poison and fell down as thou did.
That evening, with the dwarf returned, they were kit on tap to rip her. They watched over her through the night, but when morning came, she still lay without any sign of life, and they decided she must be dead. Weeping bearded, they laid her coffee and placed a glass lid over the top, so that the cold admired her without, even though she was dead. Then they carried the coffin to the top of a hill where they took tours to Stonewall.
Not long after, this surprise came riding through the forest and came to tell Hill, where Snow White lay in her glass-topped coffin. She looked so beautiful that he loved her at once, and he asked the dwarf if he could kiss her. As the prince kissed Snow White gently, he moved her head. The piece of poisoned apple fell from her lips. Slowly she came back to life. Snow White saw the handsome prince kneeling on the ground beside her and fell in love with him straight away. Then the queen for a while in the palace heard from the mirror.
You queen I fail. Tweet about Snow what is fair thing than you.
She was furious that Snow White had escaped death once more, and now the king discovered what mischief she had been up to, and banished her from his land. No one ever saw her or her mirror again. As for Snow White, she said farewell to her king friends, the Dwarfs, and rode away on the back of the princely horse. At his castle they were married, and they both lived happy forever afterwards. This story will continue. Thanks for attention.